Good morning, garden friends. Today we are going to be doing a question and answer session, and also based off of some of the questions that I was asked, I'm going to be able to show you the progress of the planting that I had done based off of questions individuals had asked me. And I'll make sure I put the date for when it actually got started so that you can see the timeline for when everything started to just be amazing. I also have a question that I'm going to hold off to the end because not only did it surprise me, it moved me. And I think when I read the question or the statement for what the individual had stated, I think you'll end up getting, why I see this as an interesting question, but also a moving question. So let's get started. I thought it would be a whole lot easier for me to write the questions down, but I'll post them on the screen. So the first question that we have is from Wanda. She says, and it was tied to how to propagate hardwood cuttings. And she says, I was recently given some cuttings and she didn't have any rooting hormone and wanted to know if it was too late to put some on them. They had been planted for about a week. And then she also asked, how many days or weeks do we wait for roots? All right, Wanda, this is the thing. Anytime I am doing any type of propagating, I make it a point to add rooting hormones to it because it actually speeds up the process for the roots to take. And my thing is, if there is anything that you can utilize to just give that extra oomph for the roots to take, I would do it. But if you didn't, I think it's key in regards to what you're propagating to make sure that you have good quality soil, that it drains well, and depending upon, when you're doing it, the amount of sunlight that it may end up needing. Like I said, I've never, propagated without using the rooting hormone, but I think if you lay that good foundation with the soil combination and the drainage and the amount of sunlight that it's going to need, I think you should be good. I'll be able to show the progress of my hardwood cuttings. Right, and best of luck for your hardwood cuttings. I got another more or less statement from an individual based off of that same video, and it's from Shannon. She says, you just gave me big confidence boost for propagating my limelights. And you know what? This is the thing. That's part of the reason, why I love doing the videos is because, we're able to share our ideas and things that we do to allow us to be successful. Now, mind you, I am not the plant or propagating guru, but what I like to do is to be able to share with folks, the things that I have found that has allowed me to be successful, and then for me to be able to enjoy the beauty of the plant once it does get to, the process of, being propagated, and then me being able to put it in the ground and seeing it flourish. So I am so glad, Shannon, that you got inspiration and confidence to, be successful and feel that you are going to be successful with propagating your limelights. So thanks again for the question. So here are all of my hardwood cuttings of my limelights and my bobos. And guys, in the video I said I'd be happy if I got 5 out of the 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Guys, I have buds on every single one of them, and they're swelling. Let's take you down here so you can see. These guys, oops, hold on, maybe if I put my hand behind. Let me focus that a little better. Okay, these guys all have buds on them. This one here is really, can you see it? Let's pull that back a little bit. Look at that. The buds are swelling on them. Some a little, not as fast. These are my bobos. You can see the little nodes are swelling. The green that's on there. And this was the one that I did not cut it just to a stick. Look at it. It's just covered. And even the leaves are starting to pop through. But I am really excited. And these were propagated 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. Now, the one thing that I know sometimes with hardwood, and I don't know why or how it can do this to where it'll bud, but it won't have any roots. I'm going to wait until all of these guys, the leaves burst, before I go ahead and put them in the ground. But I am so excited. Okay. The next question that I have, and it's so funny because, you know, with subscribers, they do keep you on track, okay? And this comes from RB, the garden nanny. And it was tied to my try again ranunculus planting, changing up my planting process. And the first thing she said was, "Where is your garden stool?" And she stated that her husband always reminds her to use her tools. Well, as you guys know, time change hadn't happened. You know, I work a full-time job. You know, sometimes don't get off of work until 5:30, 6 o'clock because my boss wants me to do something last minute. But I did not have the daylight. So I had come out right before dusk and was hustling to get those ranunculus planted. Those two, I'm going to put the timestamp on and show you how well those guys are actually doing. So RB, thanks for keeping me honest. Look at my ranunculus. See, this is the thing. I tried to do the pre-sprouting, and it did not work for me. And that's why I went back to what I know, and that is soaking them and putting them directly into the ground. These are some of my other plants in my daffodils. This was another section that I had put them in. I am so excited because the color is just so pretty. And I think it'll look nice against the backdrop of my yellow daffodils that I have all in here. And my autumn joy sedum that is just doing fantastic. Let's go over to the other section. I'm really loving this batch because in the barrel, I have my, what is that? Cherry Yucca. And to be able to have those in front of this barrel, that's gonna look so nice. Here's the other ones that I got in this bed. Back here are doing well. And then I have some back there in the corner. But like I said, this gets morning sun. So, but you know, they're pretty good. Anyway, they're still coming up. But I'm excited. Oh, wait. And look here. I tucked some in here too that are going to be popping up. Oh, this is good. This is good. And I got another little patch that's coming up there right in front of my Nico hydrangea. And then I put some over here. Over here. So they are doing really, really well. I thought I put some down in between here, but nothing's coming up. But then this little small batch down here in the corner is coming up. So yeah, guys, like I say, go with what you know. With, oh, who was it that I did the stool from? It wasn't, I'll put the name up and their link in the description. And this is my thing. For somebody who has knee problems, even back issues, I found it to be beneficial for me being able to get up and down, especially when I was planting the bulbs and what have you. But like I said, was rushing because time was of the essence. So, I was just quickly going through getting those corms planted. But thank you again, RB, for your question. The next question is from the Mariner. And this was tied to my video, 5 garden steps to think about when creating a garden plan. Definitely a balancing that. And hers was more of a statement. She says, I hope you don't mind that I borrow your motto. What gets written gets done. And she also stated, and I love it, take it to that next level. She also stated, I may make a plaque to put over my potting bench, along with a couple others of her favorites. She was also in agreement with pushing the zones. And this is the thing, Mariner. Nope, have no problem someone using that model, because it does. When it comes to gardening, you got to have a plan. You can't just be like willy-nilly, because then you end up with 3 million projects and nothing completed. And to me, that's a loose end. And I don't like loose ends. So, not only in my gardening, but also in my work. I tell my team all the time, write it down. If you write it down, 9 times out of 10, you will get it executed. So yes, whatever you need to help keep you motivated, because trust and believe, that is a motivator for me to write things down so that I can make sure, number one, with my hectic schedule, I can get those very things done. So thank you again for your question. All right, I got another question from RB, the Garden Nanny. And this was my early seed starting. How to early seed, sow herbs, and cut and come again plants. And she had asked me where I had gotten my containers for my winter sowing. She stated that she used the milk jug, but not with much success. And then she also gave me some good insight in regards to my lupine, because I had done lupine in the milk jugs a 1.5 years ago. It might actually be 2 years, but then last year I didn't get any flower at all. So I'm hoping that I end up getting flowers this year, because she said that they, you got the perennials and then you got the biannuals, so I may have gotten the ones that were biannuals. So thank you so much for that question. And then too, I will put the link of the containers that I actually got off of Amazon, and I love them. They're small enough, and while my garden is a nice size, I do like structure. I don't like a lot of busy, but it allows me to make enough of what I want, and then to have some extra if I want to give them to some of my neighbors that that I'm helping with their garden. So thank you again for that question. The next question is also tied to the ranunculus. And the next question is tied to when I propagated my roses. And this came from Janine. I think it's her. Yeah, Janine. And she said, I thought you're not supposed to dip your cuttings in the rooting hormone, because if your plant has a disease or problem, the powder can get contaminated and pass on to future plants. Very true statement. But this is the thing. You shouldn't be rooting or propagating plants that may be diseased or have some problems with it. Because 9 times out of 10, based off of the plant, you can tell if there's a problem. One of the things that I try to do is, number one, I stay on top of my maintenance of if I see any branches that look like they're dying back, I get those guys cut. Keeping my pruners nice and clean. I make sure those are nice and clean when I go to use them. And I probably have maybe about 20 clippers, because when I get on a roll, I don't like having to stop and clean them, just pick up a new one. And then, like I said, the thing of it too is just making sure that you are utilizing clean utensils. The plants that you are looking to propagate are nice and healthy. Now, as I stated before, I am not the guru. I'm just sharing with you guys the things that I have found to allow me to be successful, with when I go to propagate. But like I said, I'm also going to show you those white live roses that I propagated, and I'll show you the timestamp for when I did them and what they look like now. So thank you so very much, Jenny. So these are my clippings that I did from my white lie roses. These are doing really good. This one here, that one there, this guy is the 3 in there, some success. This got a little node on it, so I'm gonna keep it. These ones here I'm gonna leave, because if they root, I'll go ahead and plant them in the ground. So I am really happy about how these propagated. And if you guys remember, they were just sticks. So I'm happy for that. This is the one that I'm gonna put over by my shed, up against the lattice that we just installed, since it gets so big. Again, a question from the Mariner. And this is the thing. Like I said, I so love it that my subscribers hold me to task, and hers was more of a statement. And, as I stated, my garden is on a hill, a rather steep hill, which I love, because of how my house is positioned. But it can be a challenge. And that was the one thing she had stated. She says, I did not realize your property is on such a hill, which would seem to be an added challenge that you conquer beautifully. She stated that she was going to ask me about my lantern, and did not realize that I had actually made it, and that's the thing. I definitely am into, doing a lot of my own woodwork. Mind you, my husband probably don't want me always in his workshop, but, I think it helps, show that we can end up building the things that we want for our garden, instead of sitting up here paying mucho bucks. Because I know for something like that I was looking at that inspired me, that thing was like almost $200, and I don't even think with the wood during COVID did I spend over $40. For everything, the wood and the lanterns and the lights. I do not think I spent over $40. So, that's the thing, being cost efficient, to be able to see something and then you go ahead and create it yourself. So thanks again, the Mariner, for your observation. I so appreciate it. Okay, so now we're going to get to the last question statement that I ended up receiving, and it actually had to do with my garden shed, me creating the theme of romance. And I'm not going to state the person's name, or I'll put what they set up on the screen, but I'll black out their name, because you know what, I don't know what, the individual might have been, dealing with. And I'm just not, I want to be able to turn this into something positive. So this is what I ended up getting. Says, romantic feel, that is bizarre. She finds love in relationships with a place. Falling in love, does she kiss, hug, buy presents, and talk to of love and romance to the place? Thinking of marriage? And like I said, when I read that, I thought, wow, that's sort of sad, But then like I said, I thought, we never know what someone may be going through, and that's why I sort of try to respond in a very positive way, because this is the thing, for those of you that follow me, have seen different videos where I make reference to our oldest daughter who served in the military and had passed, and that gardening for me is therapeutic. Gardening allows me to keep that connection with our daughter. I plant a rose every year in honor of her. And part of the reason I chose the rose, especially down here in Georgia, is Mama is the root ball. And the flowers represent our daughter. To where even during the cold months and I see a rosebud on there, it just reminds me of our daughter. And like I had responded back, to, the individual, I may not be able to hug her, kiss her, have our girl talks, but gardening allows me to focus on the joy of our daughter and her life and what she represented. And that's where I find the love in gardening, because it allows me, when I have those bad days, to get out and work the soil and be out in the garden and do the things that, I know she knew I loved doing, So, like I said, I just wanted to raise that question, that statement, because like I said, you never know, and people garden for different reasons, like I said, it isn't always just about grief, for me. It's about getting outside and being active and seeing, the fruits of your labor, so just wanted to, share that with you guys, and, for us just to keep in mind, because in today's world, people can't always find happiness, and while, like I said, it sort of threw me off, the question statement, but the first thing that popped up in my head was, I wish for her or this person to have joy in their life, like gardening brings to me. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. This is the thing. I so love getting questions, because it helps, me learn. And it makes me also feel honored that people feel comfortable to ask me questions, and this is the thing. I'm that person. If I don't know, I will be the first to say I don't know, but trust and believe I'm gonna look it up, so keep the questions coming. Like I said, I so enjoy it, and I think too it helps with that connection. While I'm here in Georgia, I know I have followers in California, Canada, all over the United States. And to me, this is a good way for us to heighten and tighten that connection. So continue with asking the questions, so because I so appreciate it. All right, well, if you enjoyed my content, please consider subscribing, joining me on this journey that I am so excited about, and I look forward to you checking out my next video.